What up? Hey, Corey.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Did you guys look at this sheet from what's his name?
Sky from Sky.
Sky Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, super dope. Seems like kind of just go off of that sheet for the questions, most of them, and
I mean, I can't look. We'll do that, but then I want to throw in one or two curveballs. Come on, you can't just.
absolutely,
I can't be all
Make it
softballs
easy.
over here.
yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, I really want to ask if he. I mean, I'm sure if he's looked into all this stuff and wrote a book about it, I'm sure he's familiar with, Sam Harris's views on free will.
Yeah, I was just watching a couple videos on that actually.
How do you guys want to go about?
I think that would be a good guest to have the free will conversation with.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll dive into free will for sure. Like if he responds to one of these questions he laid out for us, like for instance, how do you define synchronicity? The first question. Let's say that we take something he says and say, okay, well, I kind of want to bring up the Sam Harris thing and see like how he feels about, and when I say Sam Harris, what I'm talking about is, Sam Harris believes that we absolutely have no free will whatsoever, right? But it's important that we think we do, right? Because think about it this way. None of us get to decide when and where we're born or to what parents, right? And then there's two things that determine the kind of person you are, nature and nurture, which you did not choose either one, right? So it's kind of like think about it this way, Justin, if you were born with my genes, my exact genetic code in the exact time and place, the exact parents, would you be able to make any different decision than I made throughout the entire course of my life at any point? Think about it. Your output, your decisions you make is 100% your input and your genetic code. So all the information that I've gathered since I was a little baby influence all of the decisions that I've made through every point in my life, right? There's no point where I just say, I'm going to take somebody else's experience and apply it to my life, right? It's something that stacks on top of each other. One thing leads to the next, right? So really, technically, we don't have any choice. Sam Harris is a thought experiment. He goes, okay, in your head right now, think of 3 cities, right? Just think of any 3 cities in your head, right? Now, let's assume that you just said Tokyo, Paris, and LA. Right? Where did those 3 cities come from in your head? Right? Did they come from the entire pool of every city that's ever been, erected?
In existence, yeah.
Of course not. Right? So is that free will, or is that strictly based on your limited experience? Right? And then did you choose those 3 cities because you had, like, why did I choose Tokyo? Because I had sushi last night? Like, all these things influence those things that pop into your head, which you had absolutely no control over at any point. So It's an interesting idea to play with. And there's 2 ways to look at it, right? No one knows the answer to this, obviously. And it's kind of scary to think about if we have absolutely no control. But by the way, I've always believed what we're talking about right now. When I heard Sam Harris talk about it, and I've talked to many people, and I've never heard one person give Sam Harris or me an argument back that's a decent counter argument at all. I've never heard anybody say anything until I heard them talking about alpha and beta brain states. And then I'm thinking, now I'm kind of like playing with the idea where maybe we are all on autopilot with absolutely no choice until we kind of become conscious and kind of become awake of ourselves in that autopilot. And then that's when we have the choice. And we don't always have the choice. We only have the choice when we're in that alpha state, right? When we're not being so affected by our environment that it's manipulating all of our decisions. So I really like playing with that idea a lot. It's kind of like you're playing World of Warcraft with everyone's an NPC until you're like, hey guys, wait a second. We're all kind of, that's kind of fun to talk about. I mean, what do you guys have any opinions on that at all?
Yeah, no, I like the way you put it because I've always thought there has to be, I mean, I guess, so my history, my background is like, I've always been on the deterministic side of things. I just think that, we're all giant bags of atoms and molecules, and those atoms, behave according to, the laws of physics. So at the very onset of the universe, everything was pretty much set up to be, predetermined. based on these laws. But I always kind of believed or hoped that there was some sort of like door or some loophole that was like, oh, I do have free will. Like I can actually convince change on on my predetermined path. And I think that might be a good explanation for it. I never heard the alpha alpha wave, beta wave as a kind of that portal to break out of the loop that you're in.
Isn't that an interesting idea? I mean, what if that is like the power of meditation and like what you're capable, you know what I mean? Like literally the power of meditation is for you to like become so conscious of like that state that you can be like sit above yourself and really look and like kind of adjust things. Yeah, that's exciting. And I mean, that's kind of mind blowing if you think about it. Like, it's worth meditating for 30 days just to see what happens. You know what I mean? In fact, Corey, I'm like playing with the idea. We need to go on like a goddamn like meditation retreat where we don't talk for 7 days and just listen to ourselves. You know, I have a buddy, Moish, who did this.
Yeah, I met Moish.
Yeah, Moish, he went on a 7-day meditation retreat and he said it changed his life because when you don't talk to anybody or yourself for 7 days, what ends up happening is you kind of start like a complete dialogue with yourself. Right. You're like, I haven't been here for 4 days. What are the things that are affecting me? You know, like the things that keep popping in my head. I'm getting angry. Like, what is going on? You know, and you kind of like really or force yourself to play with that idea because you have no other stimulation, you know? So you really listen to yourself and your body. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, guys, have any of you done this before? Like, how are we not trying this? I feel like this is something that should be necessary for us to do. Am I wrong about that?
Yep. Where did he do it?
I want to do it.
I think somewhere in Israel. I want to say it was somewhere in Israel. Maybe in Egypt. It might have been in Egypt. I don't know.
Yeah. Like where would you want to go to do it?
I'd go anywhere. Anywhere cool. You know, let's make a trip out of it. You know?
Sure.
It's like Deepak is hosting some. Sure. Let me share the screen here. He's got one in California coming up at the end of the year. September 27th to October 3rd.
Ooh, the Silent Awakenings.
Oh, Silent Awakenings. This sounds like something that I would love to host. Right? A bunch of people show up and then don't say anything. You don't have to do just have some like yoga mats out there on a beach.
Everybody be quiet.
Some food. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. And then you think you just charge $5,000, you know? Sounds awesome. This Deepak guy knows how to tap into that stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. The old silent retreats.
Yeah.
Surprised it's not more like there's like articles talking about it, but there's not like companies ranking for
you know who
offering this as a service.
You know who else I listened to the CEO of Twitter, founder of Stripe.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Dorsey?
Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, he went to one with his Oura Ring and his Apple Watch.
Yeah. He put his Apple Watch in airplane mode. I watched the podcast with him and Lex Friedman. And he's first of all, he's an interesting cat. He's super into like wellness and whatnot. But he does a lot of these people, they do it like once a year. So I believe Bill Gates does it once a year. Warren Buffett does it once a year. They do something where they actually go to like a cabin in the middle of nowhere for like 7 days and just they completely turn off their phones and isolate themselves, which seems really cool to me. I mean, I feel like it would be impossple for me to just do it at my house. Like the itch to like just hop on your computer, I could take care of this. Yeah. Like really.
At the very least, like rent out an Airbnb somewhere, like drive away from the city.
Yeah.
The hardest part for me would be like not being able to read. Like I see some of those stipulations, like no reading, no writing in your journal, no talking. Like,
I feel like you're not allowed to write in your journal. Man, that's a shame. I feel like I would definitely want to bring a journal and write something down.
Yeah, you miss out on a lot of.
I mean, when was the last time you went like a full week without talking to like anybody or your phone or nothing? I mean, could you imagine? Like, and it seems crazy, but it's not that crazy at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Last time you did it was when you were an infant and you couldn't do those things.
Yeah. Guys, by the way, can I have a confession? I have completely been letting my impulses like take me over the whole weekend. Like I literally just boozed, went to the beach with like my family, just like literally been eating meat. And I gotta tell you, I feel like absolute dog shit. Like I feel I feel the inflammation. You know what I mean? Like, and it's weird because it's kind of like the whole, you know, sinusoidal ebb and flow kind of a thing where like you feel it and you just start to get so motivated. You're like, oh my God, I need to get back on it. I'm definitely at that point where I'm like so disgusted with myself for just like, ugh, you know. I remember like I didn't have like, and I didn't eat meat or like have a sip of alcohol for like 3 months, like to start this year. And it was like, damn, my shit was so on point, dude. I woke up, I was like, great, you know. And I realized that I stopped waking up every day. Like I even went like a week or two without doing like my morning routine, like being grateful, dude. And I'm just like, what's happening to me?
Things
and I think it's just part of that process where we're just, you know, I'm really feeling it out to see, you know, and like you kind of just try something, take a step backward. You're like, whoa. Then you're like, okay, no, this is definitely what I need to be doing because the alternative is just so much worse. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
you tested the hypothesis and you
yeah.
kind of, I was right.
I feel like, I mean, look, I don't know. Are you guys like struggling with that at all? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, same. It's been an ebb and flow. Like today this morning actually I woke up at a pretty good time. I woke up at a little bit before 6:30. Got started on my journaling, but like I told myself that I was going to go for a 1 mile run. Like at the very least, you know, I'll just go and do 1 mile. And then at like 11, like I was planning on doing it at 12, like during my lunch break. And then at 11 a.m., I could hear like my sister in the kitchen and she was like making a pizza
and then
in the
one
oven.
thing leads to the next, and then once you eat
the pizza and I was like, I'll just have a quick little slice. And then I was like, oh, I'll have one more slice. That was pretty good. And then a third slice later, I'm like, all right, no run.
You know, from my experience, Corey, we're not skipping you, but from my experience, Justin, with that is that I have to get out the door and start running before I convince myself not to. Like, that's literally why I put my shoes on first thing in the morning, because there's like a step-by-step procedure. And if I don't put my shoes on and step out the door, my day is completely different. But if I put my shoes on and step out the door, my day is always much, much better, you know? And it sucks because like even if I put on my shoes, I'm like, oh, I got to answer a couple emails and one thing leads to another. Then suddenly you didn't work out today. You feel like shit. You're like, wait a second. How did this happen?
Got to rip off the Band-Aid at the beginning of the day.
You got to do it. Get that blood moving. All right, Corey, how you doing?
Doing okay. I think I've been consistently bad where it's like my routine is consistent, but it's not where it should be. It's tough now because like normally I would have Shauna waking up around that like 5:30, 6 a.m. mark to start getting ready for work because she's got to get on the train. But now that she's working from home, she wakes up like around, 7 to 8 or so, because that's when she's going to really have to start checking stuff. And she can do it from bed and, take care of a lot of emails and stuff before like the day even begins. So it's kind of throwing me off. So like, I think, once she starts getting back into the routine of going back to the office, it'll be much easier to kind of get in that routine, because I want to let her get the maximum amount of sleep right now because she's pregnant. So it's gonna be beneficial for the baby. So it's a tough spot for me where like I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. and then wake her up and her not get a lot of sleep. And
there's literally nothing. Sometimes it feels like there's like we have no choice, right? It feels like the environment is like forcing us in one direction. There's like no choice that we have.
Correct, but the environment is the enemy.
Yeah, it is. It's so true. Yeah. And like even COVID, it seems so stupid, but I was in an amazing routine before I started diving into a lot of self-help stuff. My routine was to just make it to Crunch Fitness for the 9 a.m. high intensity training class. And that was nice for me because one, it always forced me out the door to make it in time for the class. Then like once I got going, the environment there's music and people around, it's stimulating. I got going. And then my day was like the same every day. And that's what helped me stay consistent. But since it's been shut down, then I couldn't go to that. And I tried doing it on my own, like running, like doing all these things. And then I just started running without every day, because that's like, and then I like injured my calf. When I stretch, it like hurts my muscle. So like I'm all thrown off. But just that COVID thing was just throwing you off your routine, just completely throws me out of whack. And it sounds like it's doing the same for you, Corey.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot of, because I would typically wake up a lot closer to like, okay, Shauna's a little bit through her routine. she's getting ready to leave. Okay, I get up, I walk Monty, like then I got the shoes on, I've gone outside, I've interacted a little bit with the outside world, and now it's just everything is shifted to later. Yeah, I would say my recommendation for that, Jay, would be you got to just kind of do it virtually. I'm sure there's so many things online right now where it's like, go to this high intensity class through Crunch Fitness through an app, or
My thing is I got to do it outside, right?
you got to do it in person. And
I feel like
if you're on an iPad or something watching, you're not
I might as well just watch a video every day at 9:00,
Yeah.
Corey, I remember when do you have a personal trainer and you were just do you
Mm-hmm.
remember the mindset that you were in when you were doing all that stuff?
So like right before, COVID happened, I was definitely like coming into this peak where I had gone, like I usually would train with him like 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then just go on Wednesdays by myself. And a few months ago, I would just kind of take the Wednesday off. But the last month before COVID, I had gone every Wednesday, like at the same kind of time, not do as much, but definitely just get the reps in. And I could feel it like completely different, just in my body, in my mind, when I was waking up naturally, like feeling good. The energy was quite different.
Yeah.
Everything was vastly different. The good news is that it has like, when I hit that peak, now being in this time where I'm not doing that routine as much, I still can feel like that my body is like still like set up for success. So I don't feel like I've dropped off nearly as much as I have in other times where I've like, okay, I'm going hard. And then like, we go to Florida for like, Shauna had the eye surgery, so I couldn't do the training. But like when I did that month and I took that kind of 6-week period off, it was like, I could feel the drop off. This one, it's like, I feel like I'm pretty close to where I was before this all happened. So
okay,
yeah,
cool. I remember when we were at the Float conference, and like your energy was infectious and so positive, and you're like, dude, it was. I was on the tail end. Maybe I was on the tail end of like a 3-week, haven't been home doing installs and stuff.
You had installed like 5 machines in 4 days, or something.
But that doesn't take away anything from you. But it was just like such a drastic difference that you were just like, no, we're doing everything right, and it's doing. We're not stopping until we're getting it done. And I remember Mateo was there, and we were just like, damn, like
with you, me, and Mark, and we were filling up the water and stuff.
Dude, I remember, dude, I've just never seen you like that ever. Like you were literally just like, dude, you were running the show. You had more energy than everybody. You were literally the reason everyone had so much goddamn energy. And I'm like, and it's good and it's bad. There's there was a peak in there, believe it or not, where you were so confident. And I feel like it was a point that I've never seen you since I've known you, that you were like, and it was almost like you were cocky to the point where like you didn't even know how to deal with it yourself, because you were started being kind of a dick. You were like kind of a dick. I was like,
well, yeah, it was 4 a.m. No.
I'm not talking about that. There's other things. There's other times like where I was at your house or like some stuff, and like you were just like, I was like, dang, I wasn't even mad about it. I was just like, I've just never seen. Is this from Corey? Just like having like so much like energy. Like what is going on right now?
When the passion comes out.
Yeah, dude. I know it was like you were for sure just like in the zone. Like,
which Flow conference was that?
It was the most recent one, 2019 in Denver. Is that right?
It was like end of August or early September.
The Flow Genome Project, like those guys.
The float therapy, like
no, it's like strictly for float tanks.
Oh, float. I thought you said flow.
Yeah, yeah, which is cool. I mean, helps you, reduce all incoming stimuli to your central nervous system.
So you guys were setting up these tanks at the conference?
Yeah, we had a conference, and we stole the show. We had the busiest booth they've ever seen. CryoNext. This podcast is brought to you by CryoNext, global leaders in cryotherapy, wellness services, equipment, and education.
That's great. The CryoNext. Yeah, Justin, you ever float? I think we've gone over this. You said no.
Not done it yet. I mean, that's
Justin
in the water. I know how to float, in a pool or in a lake. But
have you researched floating at all?
Yeah, I've researched that. I was like pretty excited about the idea of it, I don't know, a few years ago when I first found out about it. I was like, I got to find one of these, got to do it. And,
there's got to be a ton in Atlanta.
Dude, I heard about Joe Rogan talking about these things 10 years ago. I was installing them by myself without even knowing anything about them before I even tried it. And like, I finally just went and tried one. And when I got out, I was my mindset was something that I've never felt in my entire life. I literally have never been so calm and focused. And everyone I was speaking with, it was like we were both Jesus, because we were so in the moment and focused. It felt like I was on like an acid trip. I was like, what is happening right now? And then I walked up to the guy at the front desk. And he was like, would you like to buy a membership package? I was like, absolutely. You've done it. Okay. I didn't even realize, like, when I went in, how much anxiety that I had, you know? And then when I went back the second time, I had like a revolution, like a personal evolution, like in that tank where I literally evolved as a human being. Like, that's how impactful it was for me. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And I literally I've brought 15 of my close friends to float at East Coast Floats in Orlando, Florida since then. I have a membership like once a month. I can't express to you enough to just give it a try. And what happens is, but believe it or not, when you know what to do, when you go in, as you go, it gets better and better. You know?
Yep. You can practice and start having like a little game plan. Like, I bet if you went in there, Justin, and you were like, all right, I'm really trying to solve this problem, or, you know, really hardwire and lock down and implement these, you know, new things and these new habits that I've introduced into my routine or into my life, that'll just allow you to make these incredible just neural connections. And you just imagine not having to think about anything that your brain constantly has to think think
Yeah, I want one hundreds of
muscles
at
a time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Nathan has one.
Make that happen.
Yeah. No, we can.
How much is it? Like 50,000?
You can get a used one for like 12K. You can get a good used one for like 12,000.
Yeah,
I plan to have one in my house in the future. I know that Nathan guy, that's a multimillionaire genius, eccentric dude that we're working with. He has one in his home. He can't go to bed if he doesn't do it every night. His brain is like,
wow.
So listen, I was talking to Luke Nosek. Luke Nosek was the first like investor in SpaceX with Tesla. He was with PayPal with Elon Musk. He's like Elon Musk, but he's a billionaire. I went to Transtech. He tried our zero body dry float with the VR headset on to do space VR. Had lunch with the guy. Was talking to him about float tanks. He's never tried one before. He said he was like interested in it. He's obviously a genius. Like, I mean, his IQ is probably like 200. If you talk to the guy for 5 minutes, you're like, I was so intimidated just to have a conversation with him, because I felt like everything that I said just sounded retarded to this human being. But we talked about float tanks, and he was really interested. And I told him about, you know, it's 60 minutes, you know, without your phone, where you're completely isolated, and there's no, you know, nothing is stimulating your central nervous system. So what that does is it actually increases your brain power. So what people do is, if he has a really tough problem that he's trying to solve and he wants to just like reroute all of his energy to his brain, go on a float tank, and he got his eyes lit up. He was like, oh, snap. Yeah, you could tell he's going to get one for his house. And like, he's like, I'm 100% going to do it. No, seriously. I mean, that guy's like, he saw that. He's like, oh my God, you're right. If nothing else, my brain's not using its functioning for everything else, I'll have just a little bit more power. Maybe I can come up with something I've never been able to think of before. I mean, think about it. This is why Bill Belichick has one in his home. Tom Brady has one in his home. How do you think he outplays everybody? Why do you think the Patriots are the GOAT? Why? Because of float tanks. Just remember that.
Yeah, I need to get one of these.
You should go try it first. You just
try it first.
I gotta get a house too first.
No, dude, it's probably gonna cost you $40-$50. Just seriously, just go.
If that.
Find one.
Yeah, I already looked it up. They seem to be, I guess, temporarily closed for the time being.
Sure.
But, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll bookmark it.
I could definitely see that being one of like the next couple things to like open, because it is so isolated. It's like there's only a few people in that building at any given moment, and they're all in a separate room. You're not near anybody. It's been completely sterilized and cleaned, and you know, everything's super clean in there. So I could definitely see that being like,
people worry about the water. Open. The water actually is like, it's filtered like 6 times an hour. If you took a dump in that thing within 24 hours, you could drink out of it. If there was no, seriously, it's like zero particulates. It's amazing.
The filtration it's insane.
Yeah. And they also use like ozone and LEDs or UV. So it's super clean.
Yeah. Couldn't recommend it enough, Justin. It will change your life. It'll be like doing like a psychedelic.
It's kind of like
First
what
time.
it's kind
It'll
of what
change you.
yeah, it's definitely what showed me the power of meditation for sure. You know, I've never meditated for 60 minutes in my life until, you know, I did that really 60 minutes by myself meditating. And then that forced me to meditate. It was like a forced amplified meditation.
It does. Your body has no choice but to do it. And it'll be interesting their first time. Like, I would say try to find like the fanciest place, like the nicest place. You want to have that like
at the
first
right
initial, you know, where they've got, you know, really good float tanks. They've got the right equipment. They've got the wax to go in your ears. They've got like this little halo to go behind your head. So you don't have to worry about like that submerging as much.
And then we'll talk about it, you know, after you do it, maybe on Friday or next week. You got to give us your feedback.
Yeah, definitely
fun.
We'll see once it opens. Yeah, because it's what you will be a different person before and then after. There's no going back.
By the way, guys, did you see this thing a couple of days ago? Elon Musk announced he's relieving himself of all material possessions. He's selling all of his mansions worth hundreds of millions. And he's like my
any of this.
He was it's honest. He went on a rant on Twitter. He was just like, materials are dumb. Materialistic things are dumb. He's like, I'm devoting my entire life to Mars and Earth. And he's like, Grimes, my girlfriend, is not happy with this. And they just had a baby. They just had a baby on Monday.
How's he gonna relieve himself of his house?
He put him up for sale. He owns Gene Wilder's house, and he's like, I'm selling his house, but only if it's not, you know, nobody messes with the energy of Gene Wilder. I'm like, okay.
And then what's the plan? Just to move it, just downsize?
I don't know.
Go into something reasonable.
Is he gonna live in his office or?
Yeah. I think it's just maybe he's gonna rent.
He said that he will own no house.
Yeah, he's gonna rent.
Okay.
And that he thinks his Tesla stock price is too high.
Yeah, he's just being super honest. He's trying to go very zen. I feel like this COVID thing is really affecting him, and this is the way that he deals with it. He goes on Twitter rants. He's obviously maybe he did some hallucinogenic, and he was just like, all right.
Could definitely have done some psychedelics during this time, and so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. Is this his midlife crisis? Is that what's going on?
My first reaction was that Elon is just transcending right in the simulation as much as possible, and he's realizing that like the physical world is just like this, you know,
meaningless.
Yeah, doesn't, you know, you gotta attach yourself to something more infinite, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I met this guy. It's actually the person who Shauna and I rented our apartment from in Chicago here. He was like the CFO for some company. He calculated that at 36 years of age, he had made enough money to retire indefinitely to pursue the lifestyle that he was looking to do. And when we met him, he was about to embark on a 1-year trip around the world of just like going to monasteries, meeting with monks. And he told me his goal was to be meditating 24 hours a day. And I asked him, well, how long do you think you meditate per day now? And he was like 8 to 9 hours, something in that realm, where he wanted to be literally walking around, but be able to meditate in a meditative
just completely
state.
Above it, just full alpha state the entire time. He's just trying to always stay in alpha state. That's interesting. I watched
Super smart guy,
David Bayer on Tom Bilyeu. He was talking about when he went on his retreat to India and he did breath work, right? He did like this retreat and a 5-star resort, but he had he said he was like a DMT trip where he met Krishna and was like a turtle, right? With like all this like crazy stuff just from doing breath work for like hours on end, you know. And he really likes Wim Hof. You guys are familiar with Wim Hof?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. I really want to get into the breath work stuff. I've watched a couple of Wim Hof videos and I'm started taking cold showers. I'm not fully there yet, but I'm getting there. Have you guys tried it?
I used to do it a lot, like almost every day.
Yeah. Any results? Anything you can share?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. Felt energetic. I don't know why I stopped or I slowed down. Like I don't do it all the time now, but I'll still do it every once in a while. Just kind of gives you at first, like the first few times I did it, I was kind of like hyperventilating and getting dizzy or
yeah.
Whoa.
seeing stars and like feeling like this tingly sense all over you, and
Wow.
and then like I guess just kind of training my body to stay in the cold longer and longer. 30 seconds one day, and then the next day, I'll wait a minute, then 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I think I got up to like 5 minutes, and just all the way cold water.
Cool. Really
Whoa.
cool.
But yeah, it was fun. You feel invigorated. It's kind of like cryotherapy. You get out and you feel fresh.
Yeah. I also watched a video of a guy who did the Wim Hof method every day for a year and listed out all the benefits. He was like a motocross guy. And he went into some substantial benefits, and he looks ridiculous doing it. It's like, you breathe in like different parts of like your stomach and your chest and like, all these crazy things. And I can see if you incorporate into your meditative routine, it would make sense that pumping all that oxygen would probably do something to your physical state and your mindset, right? Katie just shared, she went to a Rachel Hollis event with her mom and her sister. Katie is my girlfriend for those listeners out there. And
I've heard of Rachel.
Yeah, no, she, it's the female Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually read her husband's book. It was fantastic. I really liked it. And then I watched him speak on her like daily morning show, and I cringed the entire time. And he is just sorry, Dave. Dave, you got to fix your haircut. You got to get it together, Dave. You got to just get it together. I feel like somebody wrote the book for him after you like watch him speak, but yeah.
So you're just like not a good public speaker.
Just watch, and I'll just get your feedback. Just go to Rachel Hollis on Facebook and just watch their daily morning show and just watch the guy talk for 5 minutes and let me know what you think. But anyway, Katie went to her event with her mom and her sister, and they had 3 days. Like it was past, present, future. They really focused on, mindset and like things that affected each other. Everyone's crying and everything. And they were like on such a high on the last day that they walked into a random thrift store to just go shopping for fun. And, they were all really focusing on their grandma who just recently passed away, and everywhere they looked in the thrift store, everywhere that they looked and turned, they just started crying because they just saw something that was just like, it was like their grandma was placing it for them, like in a video game, just like, here, look, like blue butterflies. And then they went to like a restaurant, and the kid was like, I'm not leaving here until I see a blue butterfly. And she's like, Katie believed it so much that her grandma was like affecting the universe around her that she was like, no, I'm not leaving. And they were waiting there for like 30 minutes. And then she walked to the bathroom, and as she's walking out of the bathroom, a lady walks by with a blue butterfly pendant on her thing. And she's just we got into this like deep conversation about her mindset shifted to something that she's never felt before. And like, that's what she said. She's like, I've just never felt like that powerful mindset. And that those things are always around you, but your brain is a filtration device. And based on your mindset, that's what you're going to find. Right. And if you believe in something enough, like legitimately, like believe it, you will find anything that you're looking for,
Sure.
And that's an interesting way to, so imagine if you and your family and like me, whoever, started every day with that mindset and lived that way for a year, where you were like, oh, the universe is created for me. And you genuinely was like, imagine where your life would go if that's the mindset that you had every day. I was like, oh my God. So I'm getting inspired just talking about this. I'm starting back over tomorrow morning, guys, 6 a.m., getting up, going for a run, meditating. We're back on it. All right. I'm going to finish that Ray Dalio book tomorrow.
How deep you in there? 80%?
I'm like over
90%?
halfway. I'm over halfway. Okay. I'm somewhere in there. A lot about his life. He said, you can skip this part. It's about my life, but there was a lot about his life in there for sure. But I like it. I like learning about people's biographies. Speaking of, have you guys read any really good biographies? Elon Musk's by Ashley Vance. Have you read that one?
On that one. Well, listen to the audiobook. That was a good one.
That's a good one. Elon had a list of recommended reading material. I've read Ben Franklin's biography. Super interesting.
It's been on the list for a while.
Super interesting.
John Rockefeller. That's a good one.
Oh,
that
man.
One's probably
Titan. Dude, Titan, dude. What a move. I like when the guy was trying to build a pipeline from like Pennsylvania to the coast, and he thought he had him by the balls, and then Rockefeller just bought all of the land so he couldn't build his pipeline, and he forced them into submission. I was just like, oh my God.
Some Big stakes, big games.
Oh man, how fun to play at that level.
Yeah.
Corey, let me ask you a question. You think we'll be playing at that level when we're like 65? You think we'll just be like, you think we'll be playing
No
that
doubt.
game? Oh,
so
look at that. That's why I like
There we
Corey.
go.
That confidence
No
is
doubt.
just there.
no doubt.
I'm in there.
I can get on that train because either we really will be doing it or we'll be doing it in a reality that we have total control over. So
Yeah. Which is this reality. We just have to get the mindset to start the day.
Yep.
And you got to make it a habit. That is
Yep.
it. That is it. I realize how difficult it is to really not let your environment affect you, because it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, it's like my family and all these people, they're taking all these people to take away from focusing on you because you're focusing on them. It's
So hard.
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible.
That's why that book by Benjamin Hardy, Willpower Doesn't Work. It's all environment causes you to just causes you to fail.
That's what that book Triggers is about too, which is really interesting. I've really been trying to take that into consideration. The problem is like there's so many different layers of your environment. There's like your immediate environment, like with your like loved ones and like friends. There's your house environment where you have snacks and everything. Then there's like the economy. Then there's so many different states. It comes down to you really, for me, not having like my phone for the first 3-4 hours of the day at all. Like it's huge. Like, have you tried that before? Mm-hmm. Just start when you wake up at 6, just don't even look at your phone until like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I'm way more on point. Like everyone's responding to me. I'm way more proactive rather than reactive. Like if you wake up and start looking at your phone, you're screwed. Like you're already lost.
I need to get back into that.
No, I'm not exaggerating, guys. Take this very seriously. I watched a TED Talk on it. They were like, it's like frying your nervous system, right? Because imagine what happens is you go immediately from like theta state and like, waking up from that dreamlike state, and you should be, it's kind of like a elongated state. You skip over alpha state and go straight to beta state, right? You're like, zzz. You have to
zap your brain.
No, you do. It zaps your central nervous system. You got to like ease into it. Super important.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember I used to, before I moved down to Atlanta, I had like an external alarm clock just for that reason, instead of using my phone as an alarm.
I'm tired of using this excuse. I'm buying one of those alarm clocks on Amazon right now because I want to just keep my phone in a separate room and buy an extra alarm clock and like keep it somewhere else. Right now I was using my phone to do it, but I want it to be a reminder every morning that I'm committed to like not looking at my phone, and that's going to really help me.
I like it. You could do that, or you could get a safe that you can set a timer on. I had some buddies who were trying to like really discipline themselves on how much they were allowed to smoke. And they would say, we're only going to smoke at the very end of the night. And they would literally lock all their supplies and stuff in a safe that would only open for like 1 hour every 24 hours at like 9 p.m. And that was that. It worked.
Legit.
So
yeah.
If you lock your phone in a safe that like, hey, it's not, I can't access this until 9 or 10 a.m.
Do you know why that's so genius? Because that's how you control your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is literally, that's what it takes. Like when you are in your alpha state, thinking clearly, knowing what you want for your life, you have got to make plans to help yourself when you're in that bad state. You know what I mean?
Safeguards.
Yes, you need to have safeguards. Justin, it's kind of like the equivalent of you and me, like yelling at ourselves and our alarms and our notes, like, get up, you piece of shit. You're like, you have to have the authority over your lower self. The worst thing ever is Alexa, because you set your alarm on Alexa. You're just like, Alexa, shut up. She just goes, That is dangerous. Very dangerous. Guys, I got to find an alarm clock here. You want
or the Jeff Bezos. Have you heard of Jeff Bezos style?
No.
He doesn't use any alarm clock. He just goes to sleep at like 10 or 11 and then just naturally wakes up before sunrise.
That body clock on such control.
Dang.
The brain, the internal alarm clock.
Yeah. Jay, do you have Apple Watch?
I do.
Why don't you come up with one of those programs that wakes you up at exactly like the right time in your cycle?
Look, you're not looking at this the right way. For example, in Miracle Morning and like 5 a.m. Club, the number one rule is have an alarm clock that you have to get up out of your bed to turn off. Because what happens is it gets you up and it starts, because look, when we wake up, you are not going to make good decisions, right? So you have to put yourself in a position where you're literally controlling an autopiloted animal. Like you almost have to think about it like it's not even you, right? Like the way that we're talking right now and like being, how we're going to frame our lives, you've got to structure where your environment's like controlling something that is literally not you. There's two yous, and the one you're trying to control is not the one we're talking to right now. Because tomorrow you have something on my watch. I wake up beep, without even thinking about it. You know what I mean? 6 a.m. I'm just I'm not gonna remember this conversation as I'm like waking in my dream. I'm gonna think about my dreams and like, oh, I'm gonna go back to bed. Nothing to do today. You know what I mean?
Even the external alarm clock across the room, though, that it's only worked for me for a little bit before I would walk across a room, turn it off, and then jump back
into bed. No, you're 100% right. So even if you put yourself in a good environment, after a amount of time, it still doesn't work, right? Because then you'll fall back to that state and still throw it back.
You learn the loopholes of.
Dude, I'm about to set an alarm clock. Dude, I'm gonna set an alarm clock like on the other side of the room. I'm gonna set an alarm clock in my office to go off as well. I'm gonna just really, because that's what it takes, right? That is what it takes.
To really keep you out of bed. Yeah.
It's like Richard Branson says, he's like, are you interested in achieving your goals or are you committed to achieving your goals? And that's what it takes. And I think really looking at it the way that we're looking at it in terms of you're controlling just an animal, and you just got to like put the animal in an environment where it has no choice but to do these things. I don't know. I think that's the move. All right. So with that being said, we're buying an alarm clock.
Yeah, I'm looking at safes right now.
Oh, yeah. Let me know what you find.
The time delay safe.
Time delay
safe. Corey, let me know if you've seen anything. Ooh. These are expensive.
One of you share your screens.
I don't get any of these big ones. Just need something tiny. Let me share my screen here.
We'll make a educated decision together.
Yeah.
Purchasing experience. Oh, theirs was very tiny.
I would say
safe with secure wall mounting. Look at that thing.
Yep, it was something like that.
Let's see how much this cost.
I wouldn't spend.
Oh, there's the cigarettes. Ooh.
Oh, see, I'm thinking $50.
Theirs
was probably 30, 40, $50, something like that.
Is this a time? This doesn't look like a timer.
Look at this kitchen safe time locking container with a red lid.
Is that on your screen or my screen?
It's on my screen, but it's just like a Tupperware. It's literally Tupperware.
Share your screen.
Oh, this bad boy.
No.
Literally a Tupperware.
No, you're getting in there. You're getting in there.
That'll do the trick.
Yeah, you'll figure that out.
No.
Why is that $60? Really?
Then what happens when like it breaks? It's like a safe that you can't crack into. Oh my god, I can see something happening with this. What do you think?
It's a little cup there.
How dope does that look? This looks good. Piggy bank container, control mobile phone addiction, prevent excessive smoking.
That.
Oh,
that's literally for the two things we talked about: smoking and phone addiction.
Yep.
That looks pretty good. Damn, that would be. I'm just gonna do it. I gotta do something to like control myself. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
No, we need a time lock.
Huh.
How does this work with a time lock? We'll have to. Time delay safe. There we go.
How hard it is to make one. Because I have an electronic safe.
Oh.
Kind of like this kitchen safe thing.
There's those plastic ones again.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Here, look. It's the same thing. Amazon Choice.
I'm just confused as why it doesn't look like it would be $60 to me.
Yeah.
It looks like a $20, $30 thing.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like it probably cost them $4 to make it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the problem.
If it was metal, I would buy it for $60. Oh, what is that one there?
This?
That $60 bestseller.
This one?
I think that's just an actual
just a regular.
But it might have some type of timing thing on it.
Doesn't look like it.
Nah, it doesn't say.
No. Okay. I don't know. Kind of like I think this is like the solution. We don't want to get fancy with this.
I feel like it just gets something more substantial.
This is it. This is the one. This is all we need. This is it.
There you
Hour,
go.
minute. Look, it's literally all you need.
How much is that one?
It's $38.
$40.
Okay.
And a black one. Let's get a little black one. I'll put it in my office. Kind of like it.
Could you imagine putting Katie's jewel in there?
Oh no, I would never do that. I like living. I like. Oh man.
But if she was trying to,
Let's look at these reviews.
yeah, let's
Check
see
them
what's
out.
going on here.
Well, let's see the time box.
Okay. All right,
Oh, looks. I actually kind of like it.
looks aight. It
Sells
works.
with no option to get at the item. But what happens if like the battery runs out? Does it just pop open or something? Like, how's that work?
That's a good question.
Most of them have like a fail safe. Like my electronic safe has like a manual key slot that you can, so you gotta pry it open to open up the key slot. Then you put a key in there.
Let me see what we got. Defective. You can unlock this with push pin. That's probably a good thing. Look, it's really just a reminder, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're taking
it's
a
like
push
hard
pin,
reminder.
like look, if you get to the point where you're taking a push pin to crack open a safe to get to your phone at 9 a.m., you know what I mean? Then it's going to
You've
make
got
you
other
realize
problems.
some things.
But you
know?
lost.
Yeah, you've
You've
lost.
lost all control.
All right, I think I'm going to buy this and just give it a shot. You may give you guys a full review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yeah, no, I'm going to buy it. And I also need an alarm clock because this is we're committing ourselves financially to this.
Maybe Google that. Like,
What?
what are the best alarm clocks for what you're trying to achieve? Like for actually getting out of bed, something like that.
There's a lot of different kinds. Like,
Yeah, no,
That's
there are
that's
a
the thing.
lot.
Like, yeah, what are you
there's
gonna?
like a floor mat one. You have to like stand on the floor mat to turn it off.
Oh, let's have
that's
some
less than
fun
$40.
with this. Look,
There's
it's the
like,
government's money. It's the government's money. They just gave me a fat check. Let's.
There's
that's
like
cool.
some mathematical, like you have to do some algebra to turn it off, or like do some crazy puzzles like riddles.
Can you find that for me right now, please? Here, I'm gonna let you share that screen.
Let me see. I don't even know how I just remember looking for a bunch of alarm clocks and
Yeah, I would say like complex alarm clocks or something. Complex alarm systems.
11 alarm clocks for heavy sleepers. Okay, let's see this. The classic one.
The problem is I don't want to have to put batteries in it every 2 weeks. That's a big one for me. I want to be able to plug it in and never think about it again. I do like the floor mat idea.
This one vibrates just underneath your pillow as well.
That girl that was on Shark Tank invented an alarm clock that when it went off, it grew legs and jumped off the table and would run around your room and you'd have to go get it. That's dope. We're going to have to find that one right now.
Here's a little weight alarm clock.
Oh my God.
You gotta lift it up 30 times to stop the alarm.
Okay.
This one. Shoot the target.
What?
You gotta. Yeah.
You're a
What?
sucker for shooting games.
$18.99. I feel like that you just.
Okay. Wait, what's it
That
called?
that'd be a fun way to wake up.
Wait, yeah, but what happens when you just get so good at it? You're just like, ding.
Yeah,
Pass right
you do
back
it in your
out.
sleep.
Well,
you put it in a position where you have to like.
Here's the
Get out
one
of
that.
bed.
This is the one you gotta chase. It like
I kind
go
of like
around your
it.
room while making the annoying beep beep sound.
Wow.
Okay.
The
Isn't
shooting one is
true.
okay because like you could put the gun far away, one,
These
and
are
then
amazing. Holy crap.
put the
Yeah.
clock somewhere else. Oh,
Put
what
the
is that?
gun-
Oh,
You put the gun in the safe, and you have to
you got to go unlock your safe, get the gun, shoot the alarm clock. This one's good. Like it shoots that thing like somewhere over in your room, and then you got to find it.
To put it back in.
That's cheap. That was pretty cheap.
This is another vibrating one. Sonic bomb.
I did not know these all
Wait,
existed. This
hold
is amazing.
This is designed for mega heavy sleepers.
Oh, 113 decibels. You know how loud that is?
No, don't do that.
Like if
No.
you had neighbors.
I just want
the sonic bomb.
Oh, if you have to put a coin in that one. Look at the one, the band clock. You have to put a coin inside.
Put a coin in it.
That's interesting.
Bank clock.
You start off the day
Sounds like a really
by saving some money.
Yeah.
What's that?
$325.
Whoa,
What
this
does
is
that
a-
do?
Oh, you
Oh,
have to
you
figure
gotta
out the
figure out the
Use
code
it.
before the alarm goes all out with the test. The diffuse panel can be placed anywhere, so it's best to put it far from the bed. No more deactivating alarm clocks straight from the comforts of your bed. Unlike other alarm clocks that wake people up through different sounds, will wake you up with light.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be a thing in the future where
Yeah.
your alarm clock will just be connected to your lights and stuff. You can already do that now.
I have the
That's-
Hue lights that connect to Alexa, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work. I just say, Alexa, turn off the lights.
I wonder if there's a way you can program your Alexa to say like, okay, Justin, I'll do that, but you
You
need
have to do this first.
do this first or answer this mathematical equation or something like that.
With sleep pill.
What? That'll keep me asleep. There's a sonic bomb
So
again.
which one are you guys thinking? I'm gonna look on Amazon. What is it? What did you search, Justin?
I searched complex alarm clock.
Complex alarm clock.
Puzzle. Looks like
Oh.
a kid's game there.
Yeah.
Clockman. Just speaks Japanese.
I kind of like this dart gun alarm clock.
You gonna go for the gun?
Um,
If it's cheap, it's 20 something bucks.
It's 20
I'd go
bucks.
for it.
20 bucks. Oh, there's some cool ones. It looks good. It pops up.
I'm looking at this crazy one that makes you a cup of coffee.
Oh, I've always wanted one that made me a cup of coffee.
This one looks dope.
It's like that would give me the incentive to get up and drink the cup of coffee.
It looks incredible. It's called the Barisor.
What is it? Is it on Amazon?
I'm not sure, but it's BARISIEUR.
It's IUR.
Yeah.
Alarm clock.
Look at how sexy that looks. Oh my god! If that one is
$50.
okay, why is that one $50 and
this
the
one
one
is
right next to it $400? All right, what's this $50 one?
I think
Yeah,
this
click
is a
that.
scam here.
Yeah. Look at that. It looks dope.
So you just package it, like put your coffee
Yeah.
in the night before.
Yeah, it just
the
makes
water.
a drip cup of coffee.
I'm about to buy this one then.
I
'Cause
would,
I've always wanted
see if
that
it's
incentive.
on. Let's look on Amazon and see if there's any reviews. What's it called? I'll just type coffee.
Here it is. It is on Amazon.
all right, how much is it on Amazon?
445.
Okay,
It's
why
not
is
bad.
that other one $50?
It's literally the same thing.
Look at this one for 70 though. That looks legit. Has potential. Oh, it just boils some water.
Something's off here.
Yeah.
I don't think I can buy it.
Ooh, there's a $75 rug alarm clock that makes you get out of bed. Kind of like it. The
Oh,
rug.
yeah.
If it could do
That's
if it
the
could
one
do
you
a
gotta
couple
stand
other
on.
things, I could get behind it. Like if it was also like a scale or
Yeah, no, it is. It has like a digital alarm clock on it.
Okay.
Got some. Let's see what else it has.
Justin, I don't know. I might it might be worth a $52 gamble.
Just to see, yeah.
Don't. Well, first of all, if you can get that for $52, then we're gonna buy like 10 and flip them on eBay.
Yeah, for $250.
I just added it to the cart.
Search that model number.
See if there's like $400 shipping fee or something.
Yeah.
And it's free shipping? What?
It's just such a scam, dude. It's just such a scam.
But it's like a $52 gamble that could just pay off for the full.
Look up this company.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I would look up the
Ace.
company and then also do a quick Google search on that model number.
Switch is
Shit.
No, that didn't give me anything. Where'd you see the model number?
When you added it to the cart, go to like your checkout. Go there, right there, model number. So they might just be using that picture, but then it's only on that website.
Only on them, yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking $52 gamble could pay off immensely.
Yeah, it might just be like the Chinese dropship version.
Yeah, I don't care if it's not. I don't need it to be branded as long as it does what that thing does.
It might just take like 8 weeks to get to you. You know,
Who cares?
Yeah.
I would say go for it. It looks if you get anything that even resembles that,
Yeah.
you've done it.
Yeah, I think I'll pull the trigger on that one.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me know how that goes.
You could test out the gun one.
Oh, the alarm clock that shocks you. How about this?
No, thank you.
The Sing & Shock alarm. Oh, delivers an electric shock if you press the snooze button.
It's like Pavlov's just to teach you not to do it.
Yeah, the shock is relatively.
You can press the snooze button, but you shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
It'd probably wake you up even more. Like you won't want to snooze after that.
Mm.
Hilarious.
Huh.
There's an app. The Wakey app puts a social spin on the alarm clock. Users can sign up to get a wake-up phone call from one of its 1.5 million members.
Wake up phone call. That's weird.
Interesting.
From a stranger.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
from somebody in there.
I want to wake up though, and not get on my phone.
Yeah, true. Okay, excited to see how all of this goes for you guys.
Digital projection. Wait, I haven't pulled the trigger on one. I don't think I'm gonna get the dart gun.
No,
I seen something. I got to get out of bed because I don't want to be able to shoot the thing from bed. You know.
Yeah.
Just gotta,
How much?
hide the gun across the room.
You have to put the gun somewhere. You have to get out of
There
bed.
you go.
Though.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Or like Justin said, lock it in your safe. You have a safe, Jay? You still have that safe?
No, I don't. But let me think. I'm about to buy that lockbox for the phone.
Give it a whirl.
Oh, they say it's a funny gift idea. No, I'm gonna use it. It's not a gag gift, guys.
I'm trying to better my life.
Yeah.
Stop making fun of me.
I'm gonna create the environment, the ideal environment. I don't look really good reviews on this wake up light sunrise clock. You know, a lot of good reviews on that. Might just put it across the room. Okay.
So alarm clocks. What else is going to help control our environment? Alarm clocks, safes.
Like these questions.
Safe.
That's a good way to start it. What else did I hear? The Apple Watch is really nice for taking the time to breathe. It gives you like little notifications to stop and breathe. That guy, have you looked into Brendan Burchard?
No,
he's like the world's like number one like online motivational speaker. Like he's a high performance coach. Is it just how about this domain name? Brendan.com. Like, you know, when this guy owns Brendan.com, it's like, okay, Oprah, literally, like, it's like Oprah, Tony, like everyone's just like, this guy's the man. Super high energy. He's on Tom Bilyeu. He's interesting. He's basically like how to achieve like high performance, you know? And if you watch his videos, he's all about, he didn't tell you like what he saw. He's like, yeah, I got calls throughout the day. You know, you don't even know what he's doing. But the guy is very well versed in like everything that's ever come across for self-help, psychology, sociology. Like he knows like every major player has studied all of these different segments over the last 25 years. So if you bring up anything from mindset to, you know, morning routines, like whatever it may be, he's literally an expert in every single area. It's really interesting.
Dope. I'll watch that Impact Theory.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting. He even talks about, he's like, when he's on Impact Theory, he discusses, you know, how to really think about visualize something for the day, and not just visualize, but visualize how you can make it excellent, right? Because if you just visualize something and, you know, but if you kind of play with it, but if you try to make it, how can I make this as excellent as possible? Then you start playing with all the little details, and that really helps you get there in the visualization, right? Rather than just like, oh, I'm there, I'm done, you know, but how can I make it exceptional? And during the interviews, like this morning, when I visualized about this interview, I said, how can I make this exceptional? And I realized, Tom, that I'm going to say, you've really become one of the best speakers in America, you know, and he really done. And you're like, oh, like it's just like changes the energy. I was like, okay, yeah, I could follow this.
Like that. Like that a lot.
Yeah. What else for environment? I also think that like Ray Dalio likes to meditate twice a day. I think if you can do that a second time in the day to really close it out, because for me, when like 3 to 6 p.m. rolls around, I'm like depleted, you know, I'm like super depleted. My decision-making starts, you know, going haywire. Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos says, we'll take care of it tomorrow at 10 a.m. And he always has his important meetings at 10 a.m., you know, so that's when he makes his best decisions. And he also says he only makes 3 big decisions a day. That's it. That's all he has to do. So if I can just make 3 big decisions every single day, Monday through Friday, then I'm in really good shape. He also dives into the fact that, you know, they plan their quarters for Amazon 3 years in advance, and they know what's going to happen in that 3 years. So he's like, oh, we planned this 3 years ago. People are like freaking out. He's like, I know exactly what was going to happen 3 years ago. You know, it's just really interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I watched that Impact Theory with Morin Cerf.
Yeah, what do you think?
Pretty incredible. I would love to talk to that guy for any amount of time.
Yeah.
His experiments that he was doing was super cool. Like he was talking about at the very end where, you know, a little bit getting into free will where, you know, you have somebody come in and you just tell them, you know, have them pick left or right. And then they do it for 10 minutes and you ask them at the end, you know, did you think you were making all those decisions by yourself? Do you feel like there was anything? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And then they show them the video of the person in the background, like just being the puppeteer.
Yeah.
Just controlling every single one of their decisions. That's crazy.
I actually talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to get some progress on the ethics paper. He said it came about because he was giving all these talks. And then at the end, you know, people would always ask him like, do we really need, you know, this crazy technology in the world? And he didn't really have
the puppeteer
an answer for it. He was just like, you know, my job as a scientist is to
figure out, is this
stuff.
possible?
Yeah. You as the world figure out what to do with it, can decide how you want to use it.
Yeah. So that's what the survey is all geared towards.
Yeah. So now he's like trying to, you know, take a little more responsibility in helping people decide what to actually use this stuff for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we started on analyzing the data yesterday. He still has to send me the full data set.
How many surveys did you guys get?
We got, it was over 531 yesterday, with 42 people still in progress. So pretty good.
Good data
pretty good
set.
Bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, guys, my lockbox isn't coming until May 14th. So we'll have to figure something out until then.
It'll come faster than that.
It'll be cool. It'll be good. It's going to be worth, I mean, I'm getting my, just the most popular alarm clock on Amazon that's outlet powered for $12. And then that thing, cause I just want to keep it across the room, but it's going to be a $30 experiment. You know, let's see. But what if what if that $30 drastically improves your life? Guess what? You know,
And how
one
much
did you
is
get
that
for
worth?
$12?
yeah. I just got like the outlet powered, no frills Amazon bestseller for $12.79.
Okay. And then for the safe, which one did you get?
I got the time lock box for phones, multifunctional. Here, I'll share it with you. Let me see. I got this one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cell phone jail.
Cell phone jail. That's where it's going.
Oh, the rewards. Those rewards
day.
points.
Dude, if you're not using the Amazon 5% cash back, and just, oh my God, you're making a mistake. It's just literally 5%.
So many rewards. I think I have like over $300 in
rewards.
Oh,
would you like something shipped to your house for free and it costs you nothing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, thank you very much. And then on top of that, then if you do like the subscribe and save, you get 15% off the subscribe and save with your monthly stuff. And then you get an additional 5% off. It's 20% and free shipping. It's insane. I mean, if you're not doing this, you got to get on it. I actually have my subscribe and save set up like every day, like the 15th of every month. So now I just like, I never have to even think about it. And I save a bunch of money.
Saves you so much time too.
Oh man. Yeah. So nice. You can tweak it, you know,
priceless. Yeah. You just like, I have an excess of this, add an extra week or two in between, or add an extra month.
You can just skip it. Yeah. You can get it fine tuned.
You skip this,
like
skip
on
this
autopilot. And anything where you can just autopilot your life is just
systemize. Sweet.
Are you guys watching these and like learning? Because I feel like I feel like I'm slowly, watching yourself interact with people like this in the environment. It's mind blowing. It's definitely making me want to slow down. And I feel like I'm telling like certain people to watch and give me critical feedback, so I can improve. I think it's really helping. I don't know about you.
It's great.
I need to get better at that. I've been avoiding them. I always cringe when I look at myself in recordings. But
that's how you learn. And I feel like this is one of those things that you only get good at if you practice. But how valuable of a skill is it to be able to like speak, watch, get feedback, and just keep improving with no pressure? Holy crap.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway. All right, guys.
Love it.
All right, fellas. All right. Take it easy.
See you on Friday.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.